This week we're going to talk about the 5 brand mistakes to avoid this year. So, does your competition have an edge? Are you unpopular? Let's talk about flipping those tables with better branding. Maybe I should do all my videos that way. And the first one is, stop letting fear control your future. Oof, I'll tell you what. Man, if there's something that you're scared to dive into, I encourage you, find the answer to it or find someone who has the answer to it. Do not let the fear of the unknown or the hope of this or the worry about that keep you from walking in what you're supposed to walk in. Running a business looks a lot like solving problems day after day after day. It looks a lot like learning things day after day after day. And so don't get stuck, don't live in fear, and don't let fear keep you from going where you're supposed to go. You can do it. The second mistake to avoid is stop stretching the truth and over-promising. So stretching the truth and over-promising, I think we've all been there, and we all know what it feels like when it's done to you. No one likes that, right? Just doesn't feel good. And so when you talk about stretching the truth, basically what you're doing is you're trying to compensate for something that you are lacking. And so as a business owner, it is important that instead of compensating for that, you actually just solve the problem. And so that you don't have to do that. You don't have to compete with that. People really respect the truth. If you've watched some of our other videos, we've literally talked about that. And in fact, here's a video actually where I did talk about the truth. You can see it here and how important the truth is in your brand. And so I encourage you to simply do that. Don't overpromise, don't stretch the truth, but deliver what you said you're gonna deliver, and people will love you for that. The third mistake to avoid with your branding this year is stop spending money unwisely. That means if your advertising isn't good, if your videos aren't good, don't send them to the world. Don't pay to send them out there to the masses. Get better quality content. Whenever a person or a customer or a client comes in contact with your brand, that needs to be a great experience all the way down the line. And that's what you need to evaluate. That is spending money well. If that entire experience has any gaps in it, that's where you need to spend your money. Fill those gaps before you ever talk about advertising and doing all those other things. Watch what happens when you spend that money and you've painted the barn, so to speak, but you haven't painted the barn with your brand, and your barn's got a few doors missing, a couple windows missing, but it's structure and it'll keep you out of the rain. People are not gonna fall in love with that barn, though they might take shelter there for a little while. If you wanna keep people around, you need to build a full barn and something beautiful and say, come on in, let's do this. The fourth mistake to avoid is stop sending pointless emails. Emails are annoying, and we all know that. So why on earth should we think that sending an email with this amount of text in it is going to be something that I actually want to see? I'm not going to want to see that. How about a picture? How about a clean picture? If you want help with your email strategy, talk to us, call us, we can help you with that. But it is so annoying getting all those emails. We all know that. And so if you're gonna send something out to somebody, make sure it's of value. Make sure it's making their day better. Make sure it's making them laugh or whatever. But it shouldn't just be same old, yada, yada, yada. Because what'll happen is they'll mute your emails in their mind or literally and put them in the spam folder, and you just won't ever get traction ever again. So the fifth and final thing that I would say, just don't do this year, and it's no surprise, right? And it's simply stop avoiding your brand and fix the mistakes that are in your brand. Is it your brand guideline that's not fully fulfilled? Are you switching the fonts that you're using every single time you print something or send something out to the public? Is your video quality just not quite there, or your audio quality just not quite there? Is your Instagram strategy just failing compared to all the other companies in your area? You know, when I search for you on Google, do you have 4 reviews there, but somehow you have 25 reviews on Amazon? If your brand looks better, people are just gonna start coming to you. And why shouldn't they? That's good branding. That's the power of better branding. So avoid these 5 mistakes in your brand this year, and you are going to be set up well to succeed and possibly outperform your competition.